That was a heavy hit.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the March 7th Wilton Town Board meeting. Started off with a public hearing on the code amendments. Anybody wish to speak on the code amendments?
Lenny Goldstock.
Hi, Lenny Goldstock. We have a project on Maple Avenue 2, actually, 612 and 631. And my partner and I are well into the process of both the medical arts project on 612 and the mixed-use project on 631. And we had just heard there might be a reduction in the unit count per acre in the hamlet. So we just wanted to ask that you would consider us grandfathered in, since we're well down the road in our project. We've done quite a bit of engineering and site work, and already have concept site approval for the mixed-use project at 631.
Were you there at our code revision meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I explained to you then that anybody that put their application in would be grandfathered in.
They'll be grandfathered.
Good, that's all I needed. Sorry to take your time.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
I wasn't wrong then.
Yeah, no, if you put the time in, you put the effort in, you put the money in, then it moves forward, but
Appreciate it.
this is all new projects, new projects coming.
You got next.
Joanne Klepetar.
Oh, she won't reach a mic.
Hello, Joanne Klepetar, 101 Parkhurst Road. I was just wondering how much effort it would be to have put the revisions, proposed revisions, on the website for all to see if you couldn't get in.
They're there.
Thank you.
They're there.
They weren't there more than a few days ago.
Yeah, they're there. They were also at the code revision page.
Anyone else?
No?
That's it?
That's on the public hearing? Anyone else
No, that's
speak?
on the code amendment.
We sign up on the wrong sheet.
Yes, would you like to speak?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're on the wrong sheet.
Read all.
I'm sorry, we didn't have pictures there for us.
I thought that's why you brought Joe with you, to keep out of trouble.
That's right. I'm Pete Belmonte of Belmonte Builders. We're doing the Forest Grove subdivision off of Jones Road. I'm here to speak on two regards. One is, I think John had already clarified one of them. We were concerned about the destination of Forest Grove, knowing that we had placed a lot of time, effort, and considerable funds into getting the subdivision to where it is now. We wanted to make sure we could continue to move forward with what we've discussed with the town. John clarified that, and I appreciate that. The second half of the conversation is, I understand that change makes people uncomfortable. We all get uncomfortable when there's a lot of change around us. But change is good, in my opinion. Change brings opportunity with it. When you look at how Wilton has grown over the past decade or even longer, you see that a lot of commercial business came to the area to make our life more bountiful and able to handle a lot of the activities that we need to handle. There's more sporting events. Gavin Park has come to existence because of the population in town. But also change and development brings funds to the town. If you take, I can only speak for Forest Grove since I know it so well, but if you look at Forest Grove is going to contribute over the life of its existence $5.5 million in fees to the town of Wilton. That's plus about $1.2 million in building permit fees. If you take that number of $7 million and divide it across the 10 years existence that development is supposed to exist, it's generating approximately $700,000 a year to the prosperity of the town of Wilton. You think about what that does as far as employees, services. Some of the funds are being focused in on the improvements for Ingersoll Road, and that's just one subdivision. Granted, it's unusually large subdivision. I'm quite confident it's part of the concern of the town. But if you look at Forest Grove occupies approximately 800 plus acres of land. We're constructing on approximately 300 acres of land, donating and preserving upwards of 500 acres of land to the welfare of the town. No matter what the density was or how the density gets changed, That's the underlying density of this town. And we've concentrated in a single area to create this abundant amount of open space, which is going to be covered with walking trails that are open to the public. It's going to, as I said, bring benefits to the Ingersoll Road, traffic improvements, and there's many other donations that we make to other benefits, especially the ones that promote benefits to children, that we continue to make through the town because we feel that we're an active member of the town. When a town slows construction down, it may not be seen instantaneously, but you really need to look 3 to 5 years out, because when that pendulum swings and other towns have overtaken you in sales tax revenue or many other benefits that come due to population and density, that's going to be a very difficult pendulum to swing back. And what ultimately it will lead to is what other towns around Saratoga County have experienced is increase in taxes. Other taxes are going to have to be in place. Highway taxes are going to have to be in place to do the highway improvements, or other taxes are going to be put in place. Please think very long-term as you make this. I understand the public is asking for it, but I don't think the public elected you as their officials to represent them to make decisions based on a group of people voicing their opinion opposing the direction you're going in. It's really to represent the town as a whole.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
Joe, did you want to speak on?
Yeah, good evening. I'm Joe Danable. My company's been working in the town of Wilton for about 40 years. We've probably been involved directly or indirectly in the vast majority of residential development within the town. Myself, personally, about 20 years of that. I've had direct involvement in dozens of conservation subdivisions and hamlet mixed-use projects. I personally worked with Keith Manns in the middle 2000, late 2000s to develop Chapter 129, 10921, which is the purview of what I'm talking about tonight. More recently, I worked with the town in the development of the transfer development right codes. You know, it was a very exciting time. I followed it, I was involved with it. I watched Wilton promote the ideas of good planning and smart growth. You might ask what smart growth is. I wanted to just give you a quick overview. It's an approach of development and conservation strategies that can help protect the health and natural environment and make our communities more attractive, economically stronger, socially diverse, and resilient to climate change. Mixed principles, mixed land uses, compact design, create a range of housing, preserve open space, farmland, foster distinctive, attractive communities with strong sense of place, direct development towards existing communities, encourage community and stakeholder collaboration in development decisions. Wilton's code and the desirability of this town is the success story of smart growth and what has been happening here. It's one of the most desirable communities within the capital region. The proposals in particular to section 10921, the HM zone, erode the principles of smart growth, are in sharp contrast to good planning principles. They effectively prohibit the use of the conservation subdivision design within the R2 zoning district and cripples the ability to use conservation subdivision design within the R2 zone. The proposal also removes the planning board's ability to have any discretion over the bulk standards of any community. This eliminates the potential of the planning board to allow for a range of housing opportunities within any community. I could go on for hours about the negative effects of suburban sprawl. Loss of vast areas of open space, reduction and elimination of preserved lands, increase in road length, which leads to the increase of maintenance of those roads, requiring taxes to pay for that. Increase in the consumption of natural resources, additional trees taken down, or natural resources. for the pipes. And this is all stuff I can quote from the American Planners Association, New York State DC, the Environmental Protection Agency. A couple quick questions, and then a quick closing. I reviewed the list of committee members. Was there any member on that committee that had an education, formal education in growth and development? If so, what were their opinions about the proposed changes and how they affect conservation, residential design, and suburban sprawl? Were there any stakeholders invited to the committee? You know, those large landowners, which this is going to affect the values of their property, and also the developers who are planning and in the process of developing the community. In closing, we need to learn from our mistakes of the past. Prime examples of the effect of suburban sprawl is the state of New Jersey. The state of New Jersey was feeling development pressure. So the boards and communities within New Jersey started, let's make lots bigger, let's make roads longer. They did that. And what that did is it didn't stop development. Development is here. You're in Saratoga County in a developable area. Development's here. It's going to continue to grow. What you're going to do is spread out the development, lose open areas, lose open space, and slowly erode your community down into large single-family homes of identical styles. Thank you.
Rubber stamp.
Where's the farm come in? You talk about farming, where do farms come in for the program? You have no answer. Okay.
To answer a couple of them questions, that meeting was open to anybody in the town, the county, the state. Anybody could have came. It was posted. It was the same dates every single time. It was the second Thursday of every month. So anybody could have showed up. And I was taking questions from the crowd, and we did have some people on that board that touched on what you just proposed. This is the direction that committee went to. It's in front of this board. We take everything you say. Unfortunately, had you been at some of these meetings, some of them points could have been arose. But I didn't see you there.
Somebody want to make a motion, close the public hearing?
Could I possibly speak?
Sure.
I came in late.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. My name's Jeffrey Booth, and I'm a principal in the New York Development Group. We've developed several projects in the town and love this town, love Ryan, love Mike Mooney. You guys have a really good process. You do a great job in the approval process. You hold our feet to the fire, which I'm not always happy with, but it makes for a better development. And we go through these projects, and in many instances, they take months or years to negotiate with the landowners. And landowners look around, and in many instances for landowners, it's the retirement, the sale of these lands, it's their kids' education. I don't know who's talking about farms back there, but farming's important. No one has to sell their farm. But when they get to the point where farming doesn't make sense, whether the kids don't want to continue with farming, they decide they want to sell the property. And what effectively happens when you decrease your zoning by 25% is you decrease what they can sell their land for by 25%. And then, as Joe points out, you increase sprawl. You also, in many instances, will make it difficult for projects to pencil out because landowners will say, well, John down the street or Jim down the road, he got this and you can't give him that. I said, it's only based on the number of lots that we can put on your property. And so that doesn't happen. So as we've gone through this process with developing the town, we've extended water and trails through all of our projects. They've all connected. We have paid a tremendous amount of money into the Wilton Water and Sewer District, which helps fund other improvements along the way. We ran water all the way up Edie Road. And there's a bunch of landowners on Edie Road that didn't have public water, that have had issues with their water, that now have access to public water. So when you do this, although as Pete says, you don't necessarily see it today, I get it, you don't see it today. But down the road, when a project doesn't come in front of you because they couldn't make it work, what happens to that project? Well, there's no water there. There's no sewer if there was sewer in that project, and we've done some sewer as well. I think that you have to look at the long-term implications. The other part of this that I think is missed is that these projects, the increased valuation or assessed valuation helps in your amount of sales tax revenue that you're generating in town. And when you reduce it by 25%, all those lots that you could have, or homes that you could have had, you don't get the sales tax from those. Also, the mortgage tax that comes to the town, that money goes away. And Pete says, you're not going to feel it today, but 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, that money's not there. And, you know, I remember a supervisor in another town years ago, and she campaigned on, you know, anti-development, stop the development. And as soon as she came in and she looked at it, she said, wow, the amount of money that we put in the budget from mortgage tax is incredible. And her tune changed. And she was anti-development, anti-us in the beginning, but as she kind of got into it and realized what you need to do to make a budget work, she realized that maybe it's not such a bad thing. The other part of this is, and I think it's important, and I'll end, is affordability. When you drive the prices up to a point where people, only the wealthy people can afford houses, you make it very difficult to bring a diverse population of homeowners into your community. This is not about only the people who can afford $6-8 million homes. Governor wants to build 800,000 homes, you know, in New York State, and that's another issue with the way she's going about it. But you still want to offer a broad cross-section of housing, and I think when you push the cost of the land and the development to the point where it doesn't make sense or only the wealthy can afford it, you cut out a lot of those people. So that's my position. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. What does that do to the natives of the town?
Thank you.
Again, no answer.
Anybody else want to speak?
It's a public hearing, Frankie. If you want to use the mic, go right up. No, you can do it. Maybe that's what they need to hear from the natives of the town, not just the builders of the town.
We're getting pushed out. What else are we going to do?
I know, but that's what this is open for. This public hearing's open.
Nothing. And you know it.
That's open.
The mics aren't working back here, we can't hear nothing.
So much for taking the mic, Frank. That's working. Just got to talk closer to it. Has anybody else signed up?
No.
Anybody else want to speak?
Somebody want to make a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make the motion to close public hearing.
Second. Favor? Opposed? Start a regular town board.
Hang on a minute, we got somebody.
It's not public comment.
It's not public comment, it's public hearing about the zone change.
You got a chance.
We visit every month. Every month.
I'm gonna start with, everybody rise, pledge allegiance, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Supervisor Lamb,
Here.
Deputy Supervisor McEachran,
Here.
Councilman Bogardus,
Here.
Councilwoman Colligan, here, Councilman O'Connor.
Here.
Thank you. Who signed up to speak? Public comment?
Yes, Michael Bollinger.
Public comment, Michael.
Come on up, Mike.
Michael Bollinger? Oh, okay, there we go.
Well, it's come to the attention of a lot of the people on Jones Road and Carr Road that there's going to be this proposed development of traffic circles and mixed-use trails on Jones Road and Carr Road. And a lot of the residents on Jones and Carr Road have a lot of questions and a lot of concerns about this proposed project. And I guess there's also the question of, has there been any other research done as far as this proposed mixed-use path of looking at alternative designs and alternative parcels of property that, let's face it, this path and the design of this path is intended to pretty much serve the Links development and that whole entire corner from Traver and Gaylor Road down to Jones Road and Carr over to the Northway, and doesn't necessarily serve the rest of the community in the town of Wilton.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ed Kukowski?
There it is.
We have to go.
So I'm here in opposition to the new request for approval of Quaker Springs Solar Farm that I see was on the agenda last time at the zoning board meeting, and I've noticed that they are trying to get an appeal for the determination made by the zoning enforcement officer, who I feel correctly called it as a violation of Chapter 108, which I think is a solar law that we have, which it does not follow that. Somehow I understand that one of my neighbors got served this document and they passed it around to us on Knollwood. I'm from Knollwood. But many of my neighbors are here from Knollwood, standing in opposition to it, and we are going to oppose it as much as we can. We don't think it's the right thing. Last year, it was disapproved last year. I have no idea how it has found its way back to our town as an approval, except I hear tell it's called a public utility now. So it's still really the same thing as far as I'm concerned, and calling it something different to me is just a loophole. So that's all I have to say about it.
Ed, that's something the state is shoving down your throats and ours. And I assured you, I can't speak for all board members, but 3 of us will fight them in court.
Yeah, Governor Hochul is pushing us down.
Okay, I will tell you one thing.
This is the state, not us.
All right, I reached out. I heard that. I reached out to, what's her name?
Kerry Warner.
Oh, who? Kerry Warner? Yeah, Kerry Warner's office. And they looked into one thing. They looked into, and they sent me a letter.
Bring up what you was telling me.
Huh?
Megawatts.
Yeah, they came up with the point that if it's a state project, now I don't know what the relevance is here, you know, I hear this state is pushing this, but it's my understanding that New York State, their view of a project is 25 megawatts or greater. If it's less than that, it's not their project. It's not their variance, it's not their project. Now, I don't know what the connection there is, but I heard that, and that's what I was told, and that's what Kerry Warner's office sent me a letter on. I could pass you the email that they sent me on it. And I think maybe that needs to be pursued further, because it's not New York, it's not a New York State project. I know New York State has goals to meet.
They butted in.
But they don't have to put the thing next to my house.
I don't think it has to do with the project. It's got to do with the state law. And that's what we're here to fight. We're here to fight the state, tooth and nail, to wherever we got to do.
You can guarantee this town board will fight for
it. Yeah, I think you need to. And I think there's a lot of room to fight this thing, because it just doesn't seem right.
I don't want to see it happen, period.
We don't either in the neighborhood. It's just the wrong thing for our town, totally.
Yeah. The project people themselves have changed the verbiage of who they are, which bypasses a lot of our local law, and it permits them under New York State.
Which allows us to sue them in court. We'll take it all the way to the end.
Their verbiage bypasses us.
We lose in court.
Under the state.
We lose in court, we lose in court. There's nothing. We're going to fight.
Copy the email I got for your information.
Yeah.
And I salute you guys for going for it. We back you 100%, because we're going to get harmed by it.
We made the decision to stop it, and I'm going to stand by that decision in court.
Good, you should.
As everybody has followed the issue, since, gosh, more than a year ago, the town made some rather dramatic changes to its code in order to do 2 things. One is protect residents from overly intrusive projects, and the other one was to protect our forests and the ecosystems as well from destruction from these kinds of projects. And I think I can speak on behalf of the entire town board, where our expectation is that the new code that we adopted is going to be hopefully upheld and enforced.
And I had some other ideas on that too as well, but we'll get into them later.
Thank you.
Michael Bryce. Oh, were you finished?
I am finished.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, Ed.
I'd like to speak more because I talk too much.
That's why we said, that's why you have 3 minutes.
We just signed up twice.
That's what your wife says too, Ed.
So sweet.
I'm here to actually talk to you guys about the construction and the building that's going on here in Wilton. I've been driving around and looking.
The microphone.
Got to talk.
I've been driving around and looking and have some of these things that are going up. And I'm going to give you an example. The storage facility on Route 50. That thing looks like the ugliest factory you could possibly think of. It blends in Brooklyn, not here. How does that get past the town to let that design go there? I mean, really, I've heard numerous times, things need to blend into the town. They need to blend into the environment. This thing is a straight factory. It's our third storage facility in 1 mile of Route 50. Third one. The thing is horrible to look at. I really think people need to take a different approach about when things are being put up. Okay, yeah, they'll get drawings. Oh, it looks great. But it really doesn't. And somebody has to either drop the ball there or step up and put a lot more effort into something like that. Another example, the corner of Edie and Loudon. There's a pond, wetlands. It was unbuildable for 40 years. The guy fought tooth and nail, got DEC approval to put a house there. The town should override that, because if you went there today and seen what was happening, completely flooded, because all the water from the pond, now they cleared it, has gone into where the house is supposed to go. They had to push all the roots, all the stumps, all the trees to block the water from coming out of the pond. Again, somebody dropped the ball. How is that possible to be there? Did somebody go there, look, and say, hold on, how can we possibly put a house there? Look at what's going on here. Nobody did that, obviously. And I really think I'm very, very for it. More residents on more committees so they can be more involved in the things that happen in this town. Okay? Builders are here to build and make as much money as they can. And that's a fact. We need residents much more involved in the aspects of what they're doing. Okay? And I know that you have plenty of boards.
Right, but
okay? I'm on one of them.
what builders are on these boards?
No, I didn't say any builders were on boards. I said,
well, who do you think's on them? Who do you think's on them?
Well, listen, I sit on the one board, I think I'm the only resident.
Really?
Everybody else in there is either on the planning board, zoning board.
Every one of them.
You.
But you're residents of the town. You're all residents of the town.
I understand that, but instead, I feel outside people who don't really have, who actually, for me, I would go to that site personally, look and say, oh, should there really be a house here? Okay? I find it very unlikely.
Haven't members of the planning board gone to the sites and looked?
No, I don't believe that's true.
I believe it.
Not on subdivisions, yes. On a single residential house, I would say definitely no.
All right.
I know you go.
Not a single residential.
You don't go?
Not a single residential, they would.
Okay.
There's no planning board.
No singles.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Are you on the board?
On which board?
Any of them?
No.
You can walk it and...
No, but I feel that somebody needs to actually do that to protect the residents. Okay?
You're right, they should.
That's the way it is. We need
somebody
more
must go to
involvement.
these sites before, I mean...
Not on a single-family residential.
So our building inspector doesn't go check out a property before?
Well, he's been dealing with this for like 3 or 4 years.
And he's been against it. Our building.
So somebody has been at the site?
Yes, but what happened is since the DEC gave them the permits, he said, all right, well, we're going to let them. The town didn't fight. If you went there right now, John, that water on that pond goes underneath the road and fills up another spot on the other side of the road. The lady across the street, right this minute, her front lawn is this deep in water. Because all that land they cleared is pushing the water back, okay? And that's something that somebody didn't look into, and they should, way before it gets to the point of clearing the land and building.
Thank you.
Thank you.
DEC did that, right?
Well, it's hard to fight down.
Bob Marcello?
I'll put you on one. And there's an opening. Everybody.
I'm Bob Marcello. I'm at 39 Knollwood. I'm here about the...
Bob, would you step up to the microphone?
There you go.
Really, like you just did.
All right. I'm here about the Quaker Springs project over across from, or behind Knollwood Drive. Ed got a lot of my questions asked, because what I wanted to ask the board is, was that a law that you changed last year, or a code that could be changed again? I mean, is the law the law? I realize, I read
We changed the code.
you changed the code. I understand that. What I want to know is what's going to be done when they appeal, go to the state.
We go in front of a judge. We go in front of a judge, and if the judge says you just spent all this money for nothing, you lose anyways, that's on a judge's hand. I can't control that. We can only
That came to our attention after we passed that. There was a loophole we didn't know about. That came to our attention after what we did.
Can that then be fought again?
We will fight it.
I gotta fight it. I believe we have the best attorneys.
Right, how much time do I have?
Keep going.
All right. Just as a reminder, there was a fire in a solar place. That answers my question. There was a fire in a town out in western New York. They had to let it burn for 5 days. Say this is the north way, here's Norwood, this is west, this is east. Have a lot of dead trees and brush and dry grass. And there's a prevailing westerly wind. If that burns for 3 to 5 days, that will take out Norwood Drive.
Everybody.
That was a battery storage facility, which we do not allow in our town.
What about where it connects up on Jones Road?
There's no energy storage on the properties. No energy storage. That was a battery storage where all the solar stuff came in and stored in the battery, a bunch of batteries. We don't allow that.
There won't be anything like that in this.
We do not allow that in our town.
Won't be in the town.
I don't want it, period.
Right.
I don't want it, period.
Allow the solar field
batteries to me is a moot point. I don't want it, period. We changed the code for a reason, to fit and suit our town and our residents. They're gonna come after us. They're just gonna have to fight us in court, as simple as that. But at the end of the day, if we win, great. Then other towns will fall in suit and probably go against them as well, and they'll win.
Well, good. I hope we end up the leaders, if that's what happens.
I hope there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay. Mary Gell.
I'm at 23 Norwood Drive, and when I saw there was an appeal, we all freaked out. So here we are, pretty freaked out. Again, the access to that area is a railroad, going over a railroad track. Unless you did something incredibly creative, who should ever be going back and forth over that? I am a teacher, and I'm going to pass out papers for you because I wrote it up, but I'm not going to read it. I just thank you for hopefully, yep, front and back. And I'll give you a test later. I just thank you.
It's an open book. I'm going to do what I used to do when I was a kid.
Don't you do it. But I just thank you because, again, Tom and I just put in new wood floors. We're really working hard on the house. We love where we are. And it just doesn't make sense. We're not against solar, but not in that location. There are better ways to use it.
Believe me, it's aggravated everybody on this board as much as it aggravated everybody on Norwood Drive.
Well, I feel like that company didn't come in on the up and up, and that automatically
My thoughts were to have
makes me
the-
think that they won't be on the up and up. And in 20 years, when they're supposed to be decomposed, does it happen? Or are they there with the billboards? But thank you for being on our side, because... I'm supposed to ask a question. What else can we do in the meantime? Obviously, you're going to have the appeal happen. What can we do? Show up and...
Go to your state representatives.
Yeah, just like, you folks have come to several town board meetings. If it's on the agenda of the zoning board or any other boards, attend those meetings and let them know how you feel.
And the judge that's going to make that decision is an elected official.
Yeah. You mentioned speaking to, Kerry Werner, our Assemblywoman, keeping those state-level contacts
Warner,
and let them know about your concerns and keeping after it is.
I think we just got a lease back, didn't we?
Is a good idea.
Awesome, thank you.
We got part of a lease back.
Angus Wyckoff?
live at 10 Knollwood Drive, and I feel like I'm kind of preaching to the choir here. You guys are against this solar farm behind Knollwood Drive. Obviously, the overriding concern to me is that this sets a precedent when you have an industrial operation 100 feet from a residential home. Any industrial, doesn't have to be solar, could come in and be right there, and I know it's somewhat out of your hands since New York State wants this, but one interesting thing is that New York State, over the last 3 years, has had the highest net outflow of residents of any state in the Union, including California. However, there are 2 counties in New York State that have had increases. One is Hudson, down below Albany, but the highest increase is in Saratoga County, and there's a reason for that. Because you guys and the other 2 boards have focused, I think, on quality of life issues for all residents. And I just urge you to keep doing that. And we on Knollwood Drive will definitely support all you guys as much as we can.
Appreciate it.
We'll do the best we can.
Thank you.
Do we want to make a motion to approve of pending last month's minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Park and Rec Commission. Can't hear. Ken Bishop in the crowd. How you doing tonight?
Good, John. How are you today?
Good.
Hey, thank you very much for having us come in. We just wanted to introduce ourselves as the Park and Rec Commission, just so that you know some of our new members that we've gotten on board. I'm Ken Bishop. I've been on the Park and Rec Commission for 12 or 13, maybe 14 years. I lose track. I've gotten that old, so I can't remember that far back. But, you know, some of our other members are Kelly and Andrea. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Kelly Milne. I just joined the commission about 1.5 years ago. Been a Wilton resident for 3 years. I'm a banker full-time, and I'm just looking forward to helping see the Parks and Rec in the town thrive, and anything I can do to help out and support and be an advocate for those types of things at the town.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Andrea Glagowski. I moved to Wilton in 2019. I just joined the Parks and Rec Commission earlier this year, so I'm getting accustomed to our projects and what we have going on.
Awesome.
I'd like to thank all 3 of you and the rest of you for the great job you all do.
We also have Bart Daly and Trey Bodkin and Chad, who
You're losing them.
resigning this evening, as I understand. So we are looking for new members for our commission. We'd like to have people come on, help us out. Some of the projects that we've been working on for the recreation needs of the town would be, one of them that the LA group is presenting tonight is the Veterans Fishing Platform over by the Veterans Home. We also put together for the month of April a joint trails meeting with all of the trails committees across the Saratoga and across the town of Wilton, which would be Wilton Wildlife with Margot, who's here today, with Clan, with Saratoga Trails Committee, and then Friends of Wilton. So we're trying to bring them all together under one meeting so we can share ideas and share thoughts about just exactly what should go on as far as the trails go within the town of Wilton, and then we can bring those to the town. So we appreciate everybody's support. Thank you very much, and appreciate the time.
You got a lot of residents out there too, if any of them are interested.
Absolutely. We're always looking for new members. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Camp Saratoga Delegan Pond Program, Fishing Program. You want to speak about that, Ryan, or?
Well, this is an annual resolution that allows the kids to fish in Delegan Pond.
Yep. Handicap residents also.
It's something that annually the board approves.
I'll make a motion to approve the fishing program again at Delegan Pond.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
We can hang that over there.
Oh, to go to Ryan?
No.
You know, that starts April 1st, October 15th, and it's for kids under 16 and handicapped people. Fishing access to Snook Hill. You want to speak about that, Ryan?
So somebody, did he say somebody was here to present? Or?
I thought NJ or somebody, right?
LA.
LA, that's...
Well,
Is Dave back there?
I don't know.
Is there anyone here from the LA group?
I can go back and look.
Yeah. I didn't think they were coming.
I didn't think so either.
I didn't think so either.
Ken?
So this is something Ray's been working on, myself, LA Group.
That's okay, Jen.
Mark Daly has been involved. I'm trying to think who else is...
Kelly Milne, one of the newer members of the Park and Recreation Commission, was one of our meetings.
Yep. So what it is...
And let me mention somebody else, and that's the Veterans and Community Housing Coalition that has the veterans housing, about a dozen units that are adjacent to the town property off of Northern Pines Road. We're also involved in one of our meetings.
Correct. So this all started, I'll go back, kind of describe the location. On Northern Pines Road, north of Gaylor Road, there's the old cemetery and open field on the right side as you're traveling northbound on Northern Pines Road. It is all town land. Ray had a meeting with the Veterans Housing, myself and some others, to discuss some of their housing needs, and that kind of sparked a conversation about fishing access on that property. Thank you. There you go. Now you can hear me. So over at Northern Pines Road, it was discussed what uses can be put on that property. It's been discussed for years, what town residents would like. The veterans were enthusiastic about having a fishing access on that site, so we talked to LA Group. They're going to come up with a site design, construction drawings, wetland delineation. There would be a fishing access. We just need to figure out where, how to put that. So that's what this proposal is from LA Group. It's close to $40,000 to do this service. That's not the construction, that's the design only, so to start the process.
And that's open to the public?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, it would include a parking area so that, residents who aren't within walking distance, can park there and access the trails and the fishing area as well.
Yeah, it's on Snook Hill, which is very clean, so last year, the town board approved a fishing access along the Snook Hill because DEC does stock that stream with, trout and stuff, so it's kind of a win-win. Get people over there, start fishing. Also, we will probably try to work with the county because that is a county road, and maybe try to widen the shoulder so the veterans can walk from their housing down the road to access this without having to get out and drive down the road, quarter mile. So
you could probably go catching instead of just fishing. Every time I go fishing, I just get a sunburn.
Wrong lure.
Probably.
Well, you gotta put a worm on that hook.
Thought if it was shiny, they'd bite it.
We wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Should let you make a motion.
Right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Road dedication, Heron Lane to STA 0.00 to STA 5.75. What's that mean, Ryan?
Okay, so Heron Lane is existing road. There was a bit of confusion, and the highway department noticed that road was fully abandoned by the town years ago. So this is just to put it back.
Ambulance, right?
Yeah, by the ambulance squad.
That ends on the northway.
Correct. So there was just an error in the process, so this is just road dedication, accepting it and putting it on the road list, so they get reimbursed for CHIPS funds, and it's official.
You're happy with it, Mike?
Town
Yeah, we just paid it. Don't worry about the bill, Peter, it was a fair.
So it's all up to town spec and everything? Okay.
Want to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
I'll second that.
In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Road dedication, Forest Grove, Daintree Drive, Andrews Avenue, Plymouth Place, and Sagnol Street. You happy with that, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, really happy with them?
Yeah.
Okay, somebody wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. How are the sidewalks over there?
They're coming in, they're gonna come in as the houses get constructed.
How's the curbs?
We're working on it.
Did that parking head go in on Hare Lane also for access?
It is
Or
there.
It
Yep.
is there?
Yep. 3 or 4 cars, I think it is, right?
Yeah, it wasn't much, but it was enough spots, yeah.
Right.
6 or 8, you could pull in, it's paved, and then you park on the
Not the
gravel.
way I park.
All in favor?
Well, I've seen you drive too.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Retiree health coverage CDPHP, would you speak about that, Maria?
Sure. So the town was notified that as of March 13th, big providers like CDPHP, Albany Med, Saratoga Hospital, a vast network of places are dropping Humana. So the town, Nancy and I, had reached out to the health insurance carrier, and we found an acceptable addition, not a substitute, an addition to our retiree plan. We do have one retiree who lives out of state for whom Humana is working fabulously well and does not want to drop it. And a very good reason is that it's about $180, $190 per month, as opposed to more expensive alternatives. So there is an increase in cost to the town on a monthly basis for this additional coverage through the Medicare Advantage plan for CDPHP. It's going to cost the town about another $100 per month per retiree, but it will provide the retirees with a continuation of coverage and with excellent coverage that they've been accustomed to. And the retirees didn't ask for me to say this, but I'm going to say it on their behalf anyway. They have been very happy with Humana. It's nothing that they were looking to do on their own volition. It was just something that the providers were having problems with the Medicare Advantage plan in general and Humana specifically, but I feel that that might be the sign of things to come. Medicare needs to be revamped, I think, for the future, but for now, we have great coverage for our retirees without any gaps. The new coverage is effective April 1st. So for that 2-week period, we've been told different information that if there is some incident that happens between March 13th, which is the date that they're being covered, and the effective date of the new insurance, which is April 1st, that potentially their doctors and Humana will work something out. So we think that they are going to be okay. But
Don't get sick for 2 weeks.
yeah, wrap yourself in bubble wrap and stay home, right?
So did you say the people who live out of state or whoever still have the option to maintain Humana?
That is correct, yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
You all set, Maria?
Yes,
Thank you. You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Dam inspection project. Ryan?
Yeah, so we looked at this last year, and I think it was approved. However, because of the 2023 to 2024 budget, the money was not carried over, so it's just a kind of a reapproval, reassignment of the funds to be in 2024's budget.
Yep, I remember.
The Smith Bridge and the Delegate Dam.
What does Smith Bridge inspection cost?
The total cost is $14,400.
It's roughly 50% split.
Was it 50? So $7,000.
City is splitting that with us.
You know, that...
Didn't Belmonte's trucks run down that road all that time, carrying all that weight?
With that,
We're going to get to, yeah.
the other side of that road where the water goes to Left Ferry Lake, all that property along the creek, Saratoga Springs owns it.
Correct.
I think we should call them tomorrow, maybe they can help us with that.
They're splitting it in half.
Because that water benefits them.
No, they were splitting 2 dams in the town of Wilton.
Right, that's
We'll try and get something out of them.
Yeah, I thought we brought that up before, is to
We
approach the
never
city.
moved on it.
Yeah.
I talked about it to one of their officials, but never got anything back from them.
We still need an approval even if they don't.
Right.
So I'll make the motion, we approve it.
I'll
And
second
then
that.
Saratoga.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Set public hearing for code amendments. Need a motion.
So we have the 2 additional code amendments, that was a communication breakdown, I guess. 109-21E and 129-146 submission and review procedure. And the county did not come back with a referral for
for the code amendments that we had tonight for the public hearing, so we can hear everything next month.
Make a motion to set a public hearing.
That will be at 7 o'clock on April 4th.
We have a second?
Second.
In favor? Any opposed? Carried. Dump body bid award. You want to talk about that, Michael?
Put out the bid for single body on a single axle dump to replace the mother body.
Yep, we received one.
75,000 less for a single body, or we buy your single axle truck for 240,000, figure in 3 years. If we change the dump body in-house.
It was a good move on your part, Michael.
You just did one other truck just like that, correct?
We did a tandem.
Right.
You only got the one bid, right?
And it worked out real well for you guys. Yeah, no, absolutely. Good business decision.
So this was in the budget for single axle for 2024.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Michael.
I'll make a motion to approve the awarding that bid.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
You good.
With great sorrow, we have to, Matt Kazio has resigned as town justice. I need a motion to accept it. Yours is right.
I make the motion that we accept Matt Casio's resignation with great regret.
I'll second regretfully as well.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Opposed.
Chad Jerome has resigned from Park and Rec Commission. A little bit of sorrow there, too.
So he's resigning from a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I think he resigned from the meeting.
He's in for a big surprise, though. I need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Chad's also resigning from the Wilton Planning Board. Need a motion.
Motion to approve that resignation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Committee reports.
We are just, we had small things at the park with that camera system, just waiting on some more. I guess we're getting some prices to mow a line from...
Mr. Bellamonte's trying to help us, and I want to thank him for that.
All right.
Is that it?
That was it, just the cameras on Gavin Park?
Yeah, I got actually a follow-up committee report from, well, it was actually the court remodification program we did a couple of years ago. There was a couple of unfinished things that haven't been done yet. We're still exploring. We need to do some new seating and different things in the court building. I'm getting some quotes, and I'll be presenting it to the comptroller to purchase some new seating and some improvements in safety and security issues.
Judgetown needs an extra tall one. That little short, he keeps falling back on
No,
that.
he needs a shorter seat because he's so tall.
No, he needs a tall, because when he gets ready to throw the book, he almost falls. Yeah, he's gotta give him something with some...
We'll get him something like a roll cage.
Yeah. That's it.
So hopefully by next month I'll have some additional information on that.
All right. I got something to bring up. I never noticed this when I had my business because I always got to work at 5:30, 6 o'clock and left 8, 9 at night. But Maple Avenue from Daniels to Northern Pines has become a real cluster. Route 9's all broken up and they're gonna build that medical center and that apartment house. That's going to make it worse, and we're going to have a lot of angry residents not being able to get out of Smithbridge Road. I've brought this up to the planning board about the revision. They don't seem to have any in my book, but it's a disaster down there. I drive there mornings when I go to physical therapy. I cannot believe the traffic. That lot across from Smithbridge Road is for sale. I think they want $700,000. Another business goes there, which is going to make that intersection worse. So I think the board should give it some thought about making them an offer or have a building moratorium to that area of Route 9. get some thought and straightened out. And I've talked to quite a bit with Ryan.
Does that lot?
We had a group there yesterday, or the day before, I brought up my concerns, but we're gonna have a lot of angry residents.
Does that lot still have access to Daniels Road?
Yeah, but I looked at that and told Ryan, we had somebody else look at it, there's so many telephone poles in there, I don't think we could build it.
I think our biggest hurdle is
I think National Grid, and there's so many telephone poles back there, I don't even know if we could put access.
So for a road.
But if we owned that property, we could stop something from going there, maybe we could build a roundabout or something, but you gotta get some vision what's gonna happen there if that apartment building's put up. So give it some thought in a month and we can sit down and talk about it. Anybody got anything else?
We would need to ask the state about a roundabout or reconstruction.
We can't even get a stop sign.
I don't know that.
They won't even put a traffic light at the middle school.
I know part of the medical building application is they did petition, Brian, you can correct me on this, the medical facility is petitioning for a red light down in that area, if I remember right in the proposal.
So their proposal is a new traffic signal at their facility.
Correct.
And it's been discussed with the planning board to provide a signal at Smith Bridge Road to allow relief outside of.
You're gonna, like, red light, red light, red light? I mean, that's like every 20 feet.
Right, that cars would just be jammed up more.
That's something that needs to be studied.
I know it's in the proposal.
Make the school start filling them buses up, probably be a lot better. Instead of having everybody drop their kid off at that school, you can't walk to it, but you can have every single kid in that school get dropped off by their parents. Make them fill the buses, because now you're waiting for the buses and the cars.
That's right now, because there's not trainers.
Unless they have active after-school activities or before-school activities. They don't let them walk there.
You know, the state did the redistricting, and what bothers me, the only town in the county that had the town cut in half was the town of Wilton. I can't understand why that happened. I know I'm not happy with it. I made calls, we can't do nothing about it, but it just seems funny the only town in the county was changed is Wilton. Anybody got anything else? Maria, you want to do your controller's report?
Yes, thank you. So the first category is our 2024 budget transfers, and I'm requesting to reclassify our budget so that I can align the duties related to the emergency disaster stipend to that specific department code.
I'll make a motion to approve that budget transfer.
Second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. The second category is 2024 budget amendments, and the first item is related to the reestablishment or reappropriation for the dam that we were talking about earlier. The total is $14,400. We did appropriate it back in December, but without a contract to create a PO, the monies were reabsorbed into fund balance at the end of the year, so we just have to renew the appropriation for 2024. The second and third items are related and relate to the design phase services for the town hall expansion. The invoice that we would like to pay is $71,400, and the money is going to be transferred from the general fund to the capital projects fund. The fourth item is the $40,000 for the fishing access at Northern Pines Road, and is related to the next item, which is the transfer to the Capital Projects Fund for the same activity. The sixth item is the purchase of a volleyball system to replace an old one at Gavin Park, and we are leveraging fund balance for that as well. And the last item in this category is that splash pad tables and chairs are going to be replaced with new ones, which are plastic and will withstand weather and moisture much better than the old ones, which are, you know, in need of constant painting and
that makes sense.
Maintenance. Yes.
Splash pad water.
You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion I'll make a motion for the budget amendments 1 through 7.
I'll second.
In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. The third item is that I completed my internal review of the Justice Court records over the year. Everything was in very good order, and I had no exceptions. I'm going to need a copy of the resolution to send to the Office of the Court Administration with my work papers.
Somebody want to make a motion?
So moved.
Second. In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. The fourth item, we already discussed Justice Casio's resignation, so that's not needed at this point. The next item is that Melissa Strong has requested to step down from the position of clerk to the justice to refill her previous position as senior clerk. Melissa's pay rate is currently $32 an hour, but she would be going back to what the pay rate would have been this year for the senior clerk, which is $28.19 an hour. This is pending board approval, obviously, and just wanted to note that Melissa did take on some additional responsibilities as department head by doing, payroll review and reviewing invoices and such. So since her pay rate at $28.19 did not actually include those duties at the time the budget was crafted in November, if the board so desired to add $1 or something to that to, kind of recognize the additional responsibilities, that's something the board can do.
What do you think? Maria, what do you think?
Make it 30.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, same thing.
How about 30?
30.
Okay.
It's kind of in between the both.
Okay.
So we want to make a motion of that?
And she's obviously aware
Yes.
of that.
Yeah, she put in for it, but
Yeah.
we're going to give her 30.
I just want to make sure, yeah.
Somebody like to make a motion for that?
Join did.
I'll make the motion, or if it hasn't been.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Next one's definitely going
Thank
down.
you. And the last item under personnel is that Susan Baldwin is requesting to attend the New York State Town Clerk Association Conference, April 21st and 22nd. And since the conference requires overnight travel, it requires board approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the conference.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. The next item is item number 5. We were thinking about a fee reduction for the employees who have children who attend Gavin Park for summer camp. It's just a suggestion as a starting point. If the board decides a different rate is more appropriate. I started out at 50% reduction. We canvassed the town employees. There are approximately 10 children who may be impacted, with the fee reduction. And so the cost to the town would be about $4,500 or so.
I think this is actually a great thing for...
I got something else I see was on there. The way the economy is and cost of everything, maybe we can reduce. I've talked to the director there, maybe we could drop the price of families $100, give everybody a break.
You mean employees or everybody?
Everybody.
Town residents.
Residents of the town.
But since the town with more than one child registered for the program.
Right, so we're talking 50% additional for...
Just the town
employees.
But, we should give the residents a break, economy is in trouble.
I think they need to
Cost of
budget and make
everything.
sure that they can do that. And still run the summer camp, correct?
So, yes, so I
Would
don't
we
know.
supplement what they lack then?
I'm sorry?
We as a town would supplement.
Right now, it's a wash, pretty much.
Right, the park is not there. The town is not, the park is not there to make money. It's park's here to, the residents' enjoyment.
Right, so currently, the revenues that come in for summer camp don't fully fund the expenditures because the cost of payroll for the counselors, et cetera. And the cost of field
It would be on the town.
It would be
to
on the
supplement
town. It
that.
would be funded by the town. So
Correct. Maria, could between this meeting and next meeting, you do an analysis of what the impact would be,
Sure. We don't have, absolutely, we don't have, I believe registration opens tomorrow, so we don't have a handle on how many families with multiple children.
We only have a handle on the town
I only have a handle on
which is
the
10,
population of town
4,500.
employees,
So,
which
John,
is 10 children. So a maximum of 10 children related to town employees, not related, directly children of town employees, there would be a maximum of 10 of those cases.
Sure.
And so...
Yeah, those I'm not concerned.
And that's what
And there are 10 people there, a lot of businesses, they have childcare, and this would be like the same thing, helping our employees.
Supervisor Lamb, you're looking to do $100 across the board per town resident?
No,
Right.
Family.
Right, that's what I'm just trying to clarify.
We could pass the first one and give the other one some thought.
Are we
with a
acting
number
on the
through Maria.
50%?
We'll have the numbers for the second one.
50% is the one on tonight.
All right, so 50% is tonight, okay.
Yes.
So I'll make a motion for the 50% reduction for the children of town employees.
Thank you.
Second.
Second.
Aaron.
Wait a minute, is that grandchildren too or no?
No.
I think we were doing
Those children.
Yeah, may I revise? May I revise? May I
You have
revise?
800 of them.
I'm out.
And I was also thinking that this could be, the resolution that we just made could be for 2024. We see how this works, and we can go from there.
Right.
Have a second?
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. And lastly, we have a settlement with Windstream. If you remember, I had sent an email months ago about the fact that we were in negotiations with Windstream to reduce the settlement, which they were claiming an outlandish amount of money on the town, claim against the town. And Mark Shackner, as our town council, and his staff have successfully negotiated. So the settlement came down to $1,536. I originally wanted $1,138 to represent the true value of what we would have owed if I had not gotten my haskell's up. I didn't want to pay what we were getting service for. So
So you were close.
1,500, yeah. I feel that instead of spending more money to prolong this negotiation.
It's a lot closer than 7,300.
That is correct.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Split that.
Just a quick, the conference is through the 24th.
Oh, okay.
I just want to make that.
Thank you.
Sure, get a couple extra days.
21 to 24.
Better bring somebody to supervise.
Well, we got him back, but it's a great honor for me to ask for a motion to appoint Chad Jerome for a town justice to fill a term from 3/7/2024 to 12/31/24. I've known Matt a long time, a man of integrity, common sense, and very smart.
I'll make the motion to, unless you go.
No, go ahead.
No, you go. No, I'll second it.
All right, I make a motion to appoint Chad Jerome as town justice.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have the Honorable Supreme Court Judge Mike Hardick here, and I wish he would come up and swear Chad in. If your boys are here, Chad, they could hold the Bible I brought for you, or a family member.
I figured that'd start a fire sitting in front of John. Oh, there's his voice, okay.
Congratulations, Chad.
Is there a specific card for?
What?
You have a voter card?
Yeah.
Yes. Sue Logan's our contributions.
It's just if you want to read the
You don't know the oath to remain silent? Anything you say or do used against you?
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was pretty standard oath.
I remember that one. That's a right, not an oath.
You ready? All right, here we go.
Here, come over here, Scott, come over here.
About to get all the pictures. All right, repeat after me. I, Chad Allen Jerome, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, that I will support the Constitution of the United States, and the Constitution of the State of New York, and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of town justice, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the town of Wilton, according to the best of my ability. According to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
I want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting, and then we can let the family talk.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.